Tell him how to come.
Brother there. Shabbaton Shalom, family. We're going to read from Vayikra 23, verse 33 through 44. That is, and he called out, Leviticus 33 through 44. Again, Yah spake to Moshe, saying, speak to the sons of Israel, saying, on the 15th of the 7th month is the Feast of Booths, for 7 days to Yah. On the first day is a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work of any kind. For 7 days you shall present an offering by fire to Yah. On the 8th day you shall have a holy convocation and present an offering by fire to Yah. It is an assembly. You shall do no laborious work. These are the appointed times of Yah, which you shall proclaim as holy convocations, to present an offering by fire to Yah, burnt offerings and grain offerings, sacrifices and drink offerings, each day's matter on its own day. Besides those Shabbats of Yah, and besides your gifts, and besides all of your votive and free will offerings which you give to Yah. On exactly the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the crops of the land, you should celebrate the feast of Yah for 7 days, with a rest on the first day and a rest on the 8th day. Now on the first day you shall take of yourselves the foliage of beautiful trees, palm branches, and boughs of leafy trees, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before Yah your Elohim for 7 days. You shall thus celebrate it as a feast to Yah for 7 days in the year. It shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. You shall live in booths for 7 days. All of the native born in Israel shall live in booths, so that your generations may know that I had the sons of Israel live in booths when I brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yah your Elohim. So Moshe declared it to the sons of Israel, the appointed times of Yah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Telahim 100. Yes. Mismor Latodah. Haraula Yahweh Ko Haaretz. Ebduet Yahweh Basamcha. Bo'ula Paniu Bernana. Deuki Yahweh Hu Elohim. Hu Asanu Velo Anahu. A medley of thanksgiving. Raise a loud shout towards Yah, all the earth. Serve Yah with gladness. Come before his face with singing. Know that Yah, he is Elohim. It is he that hath made us and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving. Enter his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and bless his name. For Yah is Tov, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth will endure through all my generations. Hallelujah.
The King, 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 the kingdom of Yah is here. The kingdom of Yah is at hand. The kingdom of Yah gonna be all right, Pamela. He's a comforter. He's a deliverer. He's a healer. He's a way maker. When you need a new home, he's an abiding place for you. He did not create me to worry. He did not create me to fear. But he created me to worship daily. So I'ma leave it all right here. Come on, nice and sweet. Come on. You did not create. You did not create me to worry. You did not create me to fear. You did not create me to fear. But you created me to worship. You created me to worship. So I'ma leave it all. Right. Do that again. You did not create me. You did not create me to worry. You did not create me to fear. You did not create me to fear. But you created me to worship you. But you created me to worship him. So I'ma leave it all right here. No more crying. No more crying. No more complaining.
and his army are behind us, and there's nothing but water in front of us.
I know that Pharaoh and his army is behind us. And I know that there's nothing but water in front of us. But Yah, our Elohim, said, stand still and know that I am Yah. name. Hallelujah. Shemini, Atzeret, shalom to everyone. Shabbaton, shalom to everyone. Hallelujah. To everyone, to the saints of the Most High. Let's give Father a hand clap for assembling us one more time. Didn't have to do it, yet he did. And we thank the Father for this day and this opportunity. We're going to go into our devotion period, have our recitation of the Decalogue, and then we're going to draw ourselves in for prayer. We bless his name, and I'm just thankful so much for Father allowing us the opportunity to praise and worship him, because that's why we were made. So today we fulfill that purpose. Give him the honor, give him the glory, and allow him on his day, on his throne, to reign supreme. So at this time, we're going to leave it right there, because we got a bad wheel on it, so since we have to move it again later, we'll just let it remain, and then we'll bring it back at the end. So we bless his name. Lots of changes coming for Changing 2020, hallelujah. Small and great. So definitely we want to consider all things. So we bless his name. We even want to thank the Father for getting our bannisters started with repair in absence without asking. So hallelujah. We just know the things that he does, those little things. So we bless his name. At this time, we'll all stand for the recitation of the Decalogue. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Good to see you there.
Shabbat shalom. Blessed art thou, Yahweh, Elohim, King of the universe, who has sanctified us by his commandments and taught us to write his laws in our hearts and in our minds. And Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yah, thy Elohim, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Elohims before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yah, thy Elohim, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yah, thy Elohim, in vain, for Yah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yah, thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yah made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yah thy Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. According to James 2, 10 through 12. For whosoever shall keep the whole law, and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not murder. Now if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou murder,
thou art become a transgressor of the law. So speak ye, and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. Hallelujah.
Bless his name. We'll draw ourselves in for prayer at this time.
We know we're not worthy, but your presence makes us worthy. Remove every sin and stain. Remove every sin and stain. We need you to wash us all over again. Wash us all over again. As we bow down, we bow down before you, 'cause we love and adore you. Oh, hallelujah, Father. Father, right now we bow down before you now. Asking you right now, Father, for forgiveness of our sins and transgression. For had we not known the law, we would not know that we were transgressing against your law. So we thank you for your law right now, Father. We thank you Father, you said we are marvelously made. And so, Father, all we want to do is offer sacrifices. Sacrifices unto you, Yah, that are a sweet, sweet Savior. Right now, Father. Father, we thank you for looking beyond our faults and seeing our needs, Yah. Father, you are better to us than we are to ourselves, and had it not been for the blood, where would we be? And so we thank you right now, Father, for the blood. We thank you for this, your festivals, Father. We thank you for the season right now in the midst of your redemptive plan of salvation. Father, you said you called Israel out of Egypt to hold a feast unto you in the wilderness. Father, we could just meet you in your law. If we could just meet you in your commandments, Father, in your statutes and in your ordinances, Father. Greater works you have for us, Father. All you want from us, Father, is obedience. Father, for you said that obedience is better than sacrifice. Help us, Father. Help us get our lives in order. Help us try to continue to take off the old man and to put on the new. Help us to decrease, Yah, so that you will increase. Father, we can't serve two masters. It's not possible for us to serve two masters. If we are not serving you with our full heart, if you're not giving all that we have unto you, Father, in the way that we act, in the way that we talk, in the way that we behave, in the way that we love one another, then we must be serving something else. You've made it clear, Father. If you love me, we will keep your laws. So right now, Father, we ask you to hide your laws in our heart, Father. Hide your statutes in our heart, God. Hide your will in our heart, that we no longer sin against thee. Bless your name, Father. We lift up holy hands. We say hallelujah for the name. Father, we thank you for this Shemini Atzeret. We thank you, Father, for the new beginning. Where conflict has been put down, new government is reigning here on earth, and we are with you and our brother, hallelujah, forevermore. Help us right now, Father. We look forward to that day, Yah. And until that day, Father, when your Son returns, help us right now, Father, to get these old tabernacles in order and demonstrate unto you that we are worthy recipients of the crown that awaits us. For you are the source of our strength. You are the strength of our life. And we lift our hands in total praise unto you. And I accept the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart to be acceptable in thy sight. Oh, Yah. Oh, Yah. Oh, Yah. My strength, my Redeemer. In your darling Son, Yehoshua's name. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Bless your name, Father. Bless your name. Yes,
spirit and in truth. We bless his name. Hallelujah. Just gonna right now we'll have a few announcements, then we'll have a testimony period, and then we'll continue on with our program for a wonderful dance that we have in store for us, and then I hear a word that the Father has for us. We bless his name. So we thank the Father for just bringing us again all back together, just to keep that calendar going. Now, seems like it's been a long time since we last been here, but again, we've been, when you're out of your norm, time just does a whole different thing. It stands still, it seems to go indefinitely, all in different ways. Heard someone say as driving back in, it's almost like you're driving back into a war zone, driving back into the Badlands. Again, what was Tabernacles for you? What was it supposed to be for you? And then what did it do for you? It's supposed to change you. Again, if you live here and you go there, it's not a vacation, it's actually to indoctrinate you into another way. A way that Father once ordained. Less versus more. Because his less is our more. But we were shaped in the other thing, so now we're just returning back. And we need a minimum of 7 days, because just a visit won't do. But as in the wonderful messages we had and expressions, we got to learn more about one another. We got to adjust to one another. We got to actually, see, we can read that board all the day long. But when you actually go and practice that board, all right, now, and Father knows, we'll see each other a few hours a week. Ain't nothing too much monkey with that. I mean, that's just reading material. The kids might, learn some words, work on their lettering. Go put love in action. Go put meekness in action. Go put self-control in action and temperance in action. That's what 7 days, a lot of hours, that's action there. Because believe me, if you don't get it on day 1, by day 3, it's gonna visit you again. By day 6, prayerfully, you got it down. But if need be, it might just come on back one more time. And we say thank you, Father. In our adjustments back here, next Sunday is the 8th day of the month. Next Sunday. So we're here today. Next weekend, next Sunday, we'll have Sabbath service as normal. But Sunday, the 27th, 7 p.m., the 8th day of the month. First Sabbath next month, November 2nd, expected to have Torah Study Assembly and Pastor Greg coming to join us. Hallelujah. 5th Sabbath, November, that's 5th Sabbath, November 30th, a feed out weekend. So if nothing else, we'll talk more as we approach it, but if nothing else, 5th Sabbath, November 30th. We bless his name. We don't have a wheel to recreate. We just get the wheel back out, oil it up, and put it into play. We bless his name. And then the last, December 26th through December 29th. That's a Thursday sunset to Sunday sunset. We don't have holidays working with us as it relates to days off in the midst this year. We did the last 2 years. So Thursday at sunset to Sunday at sunset. There you go, Ash. I like that, man. I like that. That's it. Just keep that mind working. I like it. 72-hour, this is the up to 72-hour fast. Whatever Father has given you as that goal, that strength, that determination, that charge. Because it's not about what you don't do, it's about the quality in what you do. And that's where, so we got time to meditate, think it over, put it into play, and all those good things. For those able, right here in the house the entire time, that will be the planning, and the rest is, of course, come and go as necessary, as it works for you, and we'll have lessons and things going on and all this and that as we have. And somewhere, probably in January, we'll get started with the morning study once a month as it relates to really wanting to focus a time allotted for our young people to have lesson available that's definitely going to make sure to their understanding being particular to them in breakout groups of separate age levels. So somewhere in January we'll look to get that started. There will be a day announced for that my madam and I will be going to pick up some things that were left at the refuge, knowingly, chalkboard, this and that, whatever, as well as if there's some cleaning. We know that we got some cleaning up to do as relates to, hey, a wet tent left for a year, we'll work against you a year later, stored away with all that mildew, whatever. That's the word, that is what it is. So again, that day, that particular Sunday, whatever it is, we're not rushing it, we're taking a break. But whenever that day comes, it'll be announced in advance, and all are welcome to just come out and enjoy. Y'all give us a beautiful day just to enjoy. We already know we can definitely get our music going out there and just, have an afternoon in the park in God's Refuge. But for those who may want to join together on a cleanup day, take some items out, wipe them off, sweep them down, brush them off, and then store them in a more intentional way. Just know that day will be announced. Bless his name. Meal Team 1, Sister Alana, because she don't want to do the number. She said, give me the name. All right, Sister Alana's team next week, so we're back on top. And lastly, we'll have, there'll be some letters coming out. A letter will come out to each of the members, and that's to recap where we are with Changing for Yah 2020. We're going to take the message and put it on, pretty much, it's the same letter, but we'll make sure that it's highlighted accordingly so that when we get to Yom Kippur, when the door is closed, as the elder put it in his message, we want to make sure that we've been intentional for a year to give Yah all the due that we have in us right now, and all the due that he will benefit you with because he knows you want to. Why do anything for someone who isn't knocking on his door? Father says, knock and I'll answer. I already know what you need, but I need you to knock and ask me. So I'm then going to provide some strength, open some doors, pave the way, clear out the way, do some things that are necessary to bring about that which we're looking at. So we bless his name. So we want to just thank the Father. We're going to go into Sister Lana. You can give us howsoever, an opening for here. Again, after the close of this, we'll have a dance session to praise Yah with. Looking forward to a big group dance session from all of our daughters and sisters coming for later this winter or no later than springtime. So we thank the Father for that. But we bless his name because Yah is good. He's given us, if you remember what was on the board, did not Yah give us so much? So many talents, abilities, skills, and this, that, and the other. And he has a whole lot more waiting. But just lastly, as they open this session up, what does Yah want us to do when we come into his house? He said, come in and give him praise and what? Thanksgiving. Come into my house and give me praise and thanksgiving. So therefore, let's keep that in mind as today is a what? A new beginning. Let's give Father a hand clap. Hallelujah. It's a new beginning. So therefore, I'm excited. Because last year was phenomenal. But I know I ain't seen nothing yet. So let that be a testimony that say, thank you, Father, for what you're gonna do for me. Because all that other stuff, I had me in the way. If it didn't happen last year, that was my fault. This year, Father, I'm out of the way and I'm going for the glory. We bless his name, brother.
Come on, we just want to be engaged, and open testimony is available for anyone who has a desire to this morning.
Shalom, Ron. Shemini, Atzeret, shalom. We have a song for y'all. It's called In the Middle. It's about just working through it, getting through it. No matter what, we're going to give y'all praise in the middle of it. So y'all help us out. Here we go. the middle of it. In the middle of it. On the 8th day, we have a new beginning. God has brought us through 7 days of trying and time of testing, but we know we made it through. In the middle of it.
And your heart feels like it's gonna break. Your earth feels like it's gonna shake. And you taking all that you can take. Just remember where you come from. Realize you've got to run. Don't worry about what you're going through. Don't worry if there is what you do.
In the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it,
You gotta bring it anyway.
in the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it.
We gon' praise y'all, we gon' give him glory. We gon' tell the world the true story. Our different on this earth. We just thank for our second birth. Trials, tests, tribulations. Give him praise through the stench. Sickness, health, rich or poor. We say, turn around forever. You go praise him.
In the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it,
You gotta wait for
in the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it,
You gotta do your thing.
in the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it.
Trials, tests, tribulations. Give him praise through the situation. Sickness, health, rich or poor. We say, hallelujah, forevermore. Praise him.
In the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it,
You gotta do your thing.
in the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it.
You gotta wait for
In the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it,
somebody better.
in the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it.
Trials, tests, tribulations. Give him praise through the situation. Sickness, health, rich or poor. We say, hallelujah, forevermore. Praise him.
In the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it. In the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it. In the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it.
You gotta do your thing.
In the middle of it, in the middle of it, in the middle of it.
In the middle of whatever you're going through, come on and inspire someone else to continue to raise their hand.
moment on this day, because this day a year ago was the day that my commitment to the Father was finalized, was signed and sealed. So, not looking for some anniversary like those worldly churches do, but it's just, I finally let it catch me because I was running for so long, running away from it. But this is the life that He wants me to live. This is the job that He wants me to do. I knew it a long time ago, but that evil one out there trying to slow you down. So all I'm saying to all you saints is don't let nothing get in your way. Don't let nothing stop you. It might take you a while to get where you're trying to go, but don't give up. Because if you just trust in Him, if you just put it all in Him, you're going to get there. You're going to get there. Maybe not when you think you ought to get there, but He's going to bring you there when it's time for you to be there. And last year, this time was my time to be there. And so I just want to thank Him for it because there's been a lot that He's done for me in this past year. From last year to this year, a lot has happened. And all of it, most of it in my sight has been good and great. There have been tests and trials, but the word says welcome trials and welcome fiery trials and tribulations. So I welcome them because it can't defeat me. I was telling Pastor, we were driving here this morning and we ran into all kind of obstacles. Route we normally take, there was a bicycle race going on or something. So they had all the intersections blocked off. So we went another way and they got a lane closed down. And we were just talking to Satan saying, you're not going to stop us. We're going to get there. Might not get there on time, but we're going to make it. You won't stop us from being there. Just don't give up, saints. Keep on, keep it on. Like Pastor said, you were here now. Next year, 2020, you got to be somewhere else. Can't be standing still, because as I said a long time ago, when you're standing still, you're going backwards. You're going backwards. If you're standing still, that means you're not moving and everything is passing you. So technically, you are going backwards. You're falling back. Don't fall back, saints. Go forward. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We bless His name. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I was thinking about the time in my life where I just had this emptiness that I couldn't describe really, this void. And I can't remember now, but this scripture says, Romans 15:13, now may the L of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. And that just really spoke to me because
Come on, girl.
Put it into words. What I felt before, I don't even know who that person was. Even through my tears and even through sadness and worrying about this person just had me. And sometimes I feel guilty because I see the person next to me not feeling too well. And I want to help them, but at the same time, I sometimes have to step away a little bit because I just want to stay in this. I don't want all that drama to take what I'm feeling. And I'm trying to help at the same time. At a certain point, I just have to say, I need to tap out because something's happening. Something's happening. And I felt it Saturday when we were out there singing, and I took that mic from Uncle Steve, and I don't really do that too much. And I was singing, and I was there, but at the same time, I wasn't. And that's never really happened to me before. Hallelujah. I just have so much joy. Hallelujah. So much joy. Get me out of that depression is what I want to call it. Out of that emptiness, that void feeling, that just place of just feeling still and not knowing what to do. And I feel I'm working through it, and I'm just enjoying myself last week. Those little trials, and I wasn't bothered by anybody. That I wasn't trying to move home. I might have been frustrated in the moment a couple of times, but I was singing that out in the middle.
Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Hallelujah.
Got it all. Bless his name, Sister Karen. Bless his name. Hallelujah. What he says in James, keep yourself undefiled and help someone else along the way. And if you feel that helping may also break you down, that is a moment to keep yourself girded. That's the time for everything. We bless his name. Hallelujah.
I just want to say, I don't want to give occasion for anyone to speak. And I don't know whether or not the lack of my presence made anyone stumble or feel bad or whatever, but I don't want anybody to. So I want to let you all know that while you all were preparing for tabernacles and everybody was in such high spirits and wanting to go out there and spend time alone with Yah, I was getting bad news from the doctor. And when you all were preparing to leave Friday to go out, I was preparing for an operation. An operation that I postponed. Peter is learning of this, as you all are. I didn't tell him because I didn't want to ruin his time of going out to tabernacle. That is part of the reason why I did not come, because I asked the doctor to give me time to process this and time to pray to Yah. And I took that time. It's been a long time coming. And this Friday coming is the operation. I'm planning on having. The doctor told me, he said, I have to let you know that you're going under anesthesia and you can die. So I said, huh? So he asked me, he said, if any complications arise, would you want a blood transfusion? I told him no. And he said, why? I said, because I heard no horror stories of blood transfusions. And he says, you don't have to worry about that. So I looked at him and I said, you sure? He said, you don't have to worry about that. That is one in like so many chances. So I said, okay. So I looked at him and I told him, I want to postpone it. He asked me why. I told him again, I wanted prayer. But anyway, as we talked, I looked at him and I said, whatever you have to do, I told him, save my life. So he looked at me and he says, okay. And so that's why I didn't come to tabernacle, because I wanted that quiet time. I didn't want to be stressed out. I wanted to conserve my strength, because I asked him if I could fast during this time, and he told me no. He said, we want you to conserve your strength. So I said, okay. So that's why I made the decision not to come to tabernacle, because I knew it was going to get cold, and I am trying so hard not to catch a cold or get sick before Friday. And so that's all I want to say, saints. Pray for me as I pray for you. That it all goes well. And I will need a blood transfusion. That they don't accidentally cut any other organs, or that I don't get any kind of infection.
Come on this way.
to be before you. Holy Father, give her the strength to go through this. Give her the strength to not have any doubt. That she will believe in her heart and in her mind that all will be well. Holy Father, I just say, grant her this. You just, you are in charge. You're the head of all of us. Yes. Learn to continue to ask for help on different things, situations, and always depend on that. I know He will answer in His own time, but He will answer for the good. sense like y'all, it's my first time hearing of this. I'm not gonna worry. I'm still gonna depend on y'all. And he's gonna bring it through. Because actually, I still don't know exactly what's wrong. But he knows, and that's all that matters to me.
Yes.
I want to thank y'all for allowing us to be here this day on this Shemini Atzeret. Whole new day, whole new year.
Yes.
And the time spent out there, although she said she didn't want to bother me, I still missed her from not being there. But now I understand why. I was drawn to all my own conclusions. In other words, I was leaning to my own understanding. But I thank her for clearing that up. I just want to say that I was excited, still am excited because of this day, because I was thinking as I was coming here, but this is a day that Yah has made, and I will always continue to rejoice in Him. Brothers and sisters, let us keep walking in His ways, depending on Him for all things. Sister Pam, bless you. Because we know these old bodies, got to go down. But I know our spirit and our soul will continue. Just hopefully it continues after that judgment period comes by. That we may all see one another again. That we all may rejoice with one another again. And sing songs to our Father. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Bless His name. Hallelujah. Yes. Mr. Anderson, next. Just want to in this moment, on this new beginning, with Change 2020 being here. Hallelujah. With all of our married couples, please stand up. Hallelujah. Present, if nothing else, that's His name. But for all that says, husbands, love your wives. Children, honor your parents. And as, yeah, that up there. You can go ahead. Gotcha, bless you. But again, the point being, let us all, as necessary, as needed. I know my brother in Illinois was looking at my wife seeming like she's, dancing on a cloud this morning. Praise you, yeah. But as necessary and as needed, let us, each of us, draw closer. Let us commit. We know our own individual obstacles and our indifferences and our this, that, and the other. But each of us, let us draw closer so that we are representative of what a union of one should be. As the Father and the Son are one, so too should every husband and wife. Whatever that is hindering, let's work it out. Whatever needs fixing, let's work it out. But Father has said, be an example, and let nothing, and normally what puts asunder is between the two parties. It's not so much of an outsider, but it's something on the inside that is allowing the outside to still be greater than the one. So we leave and we cleave, and let us, hallelujah, give y'all the glory. Hallelujah, we bless His name. Hallelujah.
Some changes being made in my life right now. Some changes being made in my life right now. So, and I know everything's going to be all right, and I know y'all is in control. Just pray my strength, in Him. And as I go through this transition, and Ashley, bless the Lord, she's been there. She knows all about it. She's been there right by my side. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. What we need, we don't even have to think about it. That's your man. I'm ashamed of it, though she's saying.
Yeah.
That's it.
I was happy to be in the house. I'm on the list today.
Yes.
I do the visual.
You miss
I
you too?
was there. And I testified by my heart, my
Yes, ma'am.
family, or everything. One time, praise God. And I know you're having a good time.
Yes, ma'am.
And I sure miss it because this is the first time I ever been to the house.
Yes, ma'am.
And I was praying, saying, I pray the brother be fine from a beautiful tabernacle out there.
Mighty.
I praise God for that because I felt so guilty. Because I couldn't make it, but it was a health problem. That was the reason why I couldn't make it. But right now, dealing with speech, some things I couldn't even put a shoe on.
Yes, ma'am.
Without my fever, so I've been sitting there, my cold so bad, but I'm dealing with it. I know it's long, I'm coming one day.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, it's in the prayer for me. I'm so glad everybody made a lot of things and everybody doing fine. And continue to pray for one another. It's good to see you.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yes, it's it. Anyone else? You want to lay? Bless you, Shane. Okay. Shane, I'm sorry, I'm having that good first. That's right. Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom. I just want to thank everyone, especially those people who just picked up the plate and just helping out. I mean, this tabernacle was somewhat trying for me because I was ill at the beginning. During the middle days, I started feeling better, and then at the end, I got really ill again. I want to apologize. I know I probably did keep quite a few people awake because I had some bad coughing episodes that last couple of nights. But I did want to publicly thank all of you that really, truly just helped me so much with cleaning and cooking and serving and just everything that we did as a spiritual family. And I can't really tell you, express my gratitude so much because that really, really did help. And just thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Bless his name. Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom, family. I was last night I had to bring my dad's car back to his house, and I had to pick up my wife's car and bring it back home, and just riding down the street. I just kept thinking to myself, 24 hours ago, I was underneath countless stars. I mean, just the majesty of His creation, and now I'm back in the street lights, back passing the fast food restaurants, banks, just everything, just even all of just phony baloney. And, I just praise the Father for the time that we had to grow one another, to learn one another. It's just a beautiful time, and I truly feel like a different person coming back home. My father always said, you can't grow if you don't go through anything. And I went through a few things, and I feel, I felt last night, me and my wife had a moment. She couldn't find the keys and whatnot, was a little tension, and, for the first time in a long time, in the midst of that time, I just called out to the Father, please help me in this moment, and just like that, the atmosphere just changed. It was just a calming spirit, so y'all just came to praise my strength in Yah, and hallelujah.
Big smile from that hallway right there. Big smile. Hallelujah. Bless his name. Anyone up, G? All right, sir. Come on. Hallelujah. We bless his name. Hallelujah. In the midst of a great time. We got you, Miss Carol.
Shabbat shalom, Shemini, Atzeret, shalom to all. So the song in the middle that we just sang again, as I stated previously, Chief Honor Sister Alana asked me. She said, "Gee, this gonna be your song. Just do your thing on there. Put a little rap verse in there, whatever." And so I decided to the song again is in the middle. So in the middle of the trial, in the middle of the test, we still give you our praise no matter what. That's what the song's about. But there's not many words other than in the middle in that song, right? There's a verse at the beginning, but that's really it. And so I'm thinking about it for like a few weeks, and then when it finally gets to we're about to rehearse, and I'm like, okay, well now I have to actually write the words down that I've been thinking about. And the reason I bring all that up is because I have no idea why those words came to me, right? So trials, tests, tribulations, giving praise through the situation. Sickness, health, rich or poor, say Toda Yah forevermore. Because we're in the middle. So I think that's why Yah gave me those words for this moment, Sister Karen, for these types of times, for these type of trials, for grandmother, for those types of situations. No matter what, in the middle, Ash, no matter what, in the middle of it, you give him the praise. That's it. That's what it's all about. You're supposed to go through. You're supposed to get through this. If you're not tested, then how does he know that you're going to be able to depend on him no matter what? So in the middle of it, give him the praise. So I know now why God gave me those words at that moment. So now y'all take care.
We get a lot of support from the back there. Hallelujah. We bless his name. Hallelujah. Yes, ma'am. Anyone? Yes, Miss Darren. Hallelujah.
And I just want to say that moved me so much. I felt the Spirit all over me. I had to get up there and give him praise.
Hallelujah. All the goodness before time is already done. So we bless his name. Hallelujah. Father has all right, young man. Hallelujah.
Shemini, Atzeret, shalom. I'm not really feeling the best. I feel sick. My body hurts. But I'm thankful. Yeah, it's ever so merciful. I really don't have much to say, but I feel like it's been a great time. I'm pretty sure everybody who did spend the entire week out at the property felt like it was probably just refreshing to step outside of the confines of the city. Stepping into a war zone, I feel like it might be a little bit of a stretch. But it's definitely a different atmosphere being amongst the world and then kind of just secluding yourself with the people of Yah. So just want to I guess if we're going to end the fall festivals, just say hallelujah. It was a great time. There's always going to be something going on, an elephant in the room. It's literally until the end of time. It's always going to be there. So we just got to persevere, keep Yah in mind, and reach for stars.
Bless you, Lord. Bless you, Lord. Oh, my soul. Hallelujah. Bless you.
Bless you, Father. So I say, Toda Yah, all is good. His mercy endure forever. Had a wonderful time. Just want to thank Yah for my madam, my precious, Diane. And so, in preparation for Sukkot, you know how you can be in the same place, but not say much to one another, but know you're on the same page. We were just so busy doing our individual tasks, but yet, the spirit, we were still on one accord. And so we can get to that point, but we weren't even talking much at all because, again, we're just busy, but busy about Father's word in preparation for Sukkot. And so that's a really, really good feeling. And then you come together and you talk about the things you've done and all that. And so my wife told me not long ago, she said, I think you're finally reverting back to the old Steve. I'm talking to Stephen who would get up at 5:30 in the morning and walk around the corner to her house, walk under her window, knock on her window, so she could come and let me in to iron her clothes and walk her to the bus stop, catch the bus to work with her, catch the bus home, go pick up the van from Lou at the post office, go cut about 5 or 6 yards, get home and change my clothes, catch the bus, go back to meet my madam at her job, and catch the bus home with her and see that she got home safe. She said, that's a Stephen you reverted back to. I forgot about it myself until now. I said, I did used to know that. And I remembered how wonderful things were. And so, finally getting back to that, Stephen. Things should be wonderful. And I said that to the pastor of the married couples. And so, there's nothing like camaraderie. There's nothing like unity. But it has to start with constant communication. Don't hold anything back. My wife, she said, I used to be the shy one. I used to just let you do things, but I don't do that anymore. I tell you about yourself. And, maintain. And so, but I need her to tell me about myself so I can get myself back on track. And I don't mind that at all. She knows that. And I'll tell her about herself. And so, I say that, but in a spirit of love. Yes. So that we can continue to coexist. And that's what this race is about. And so, praise y'all for my family. We had a wonderful time. My whole family was there. The kids had a wonderful time out there. And my sons, I'm just so proud of my sons. And how they have grown and maturing in the way. And the messages that they offered, thoughts that they offered, love in action, and my analytical son here who just broke down the cross. He said, well, is it a cross? I don't know why you're asking me. But he broke it down, that term, the cross. And so I'm just thankful. The song says I had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. Yeah, give me some of that. Yeah. I've had some good days. Yes. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days. And some lonely nights. When I look around and I think things over, all of my good days, they outweigh my bad days. I won't complain. Sometimes my cloud hangs low. I can hardly see the road. I ask the question, why so much pain? But he knows what's best for me. All that my weary eyes cannot see. So I'll just say, Toda I won't complain. It's been good to me. He's been so good to me. More than this world can ever be. He's been so good. He's been so good. All of your tears away and turn your midnight today. Come on, just say, thank you, Lord. You've been so good to me. You've opened doors I could not see. Oh my God, you made a way out of no way. Oh my God, you're right on my sick bed. So oh my God, you're the one and a way maker. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God,
Hallelujah. Let me give all the hands for the love in the house. When we bring worthy of repentance, when we bring that which is worthy, Father has no other option than to show up right on time. When we bring less is in the room. But when we bring fruit meat worthy of repentance. Hallelujah. Sister Lana, we'll close us out and we'll have our dance and hear what the Father has for us to say.
Please sing, please get your mics and join me. They said I wouldn't make it. They said I wouldn't be here today. They said I wouldn't amount to anything. But I'm glad to say
give God the glory right now. Hallelujah. Let's give him the glory right now. He alone is worthy. Hallelujah. Bless his name. Highest praise. Whatever you're doing, the highest praise goes to him. How do you get him? By the highest praise. You want somebody to stand by it? By the highest praise. Hallelujah. That's how we do it. Father, it's a new beginning. It's a new beginning. And we bless your holy and righteous name. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father. Hallelujah. Bless your name. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm mad at him. Hallelujah. It's Father's Day. But we say glory and honor. Glory and honor. Sister Flo has asked for something, so we'll close out with it, all right? Gotcha. At this time, we thank the Father for what he has prepared. So to his glory, hallelujah, we bless his name. Let us embrace the Father and dance, hallelujah. And thank him, hallelujah, for the time and effort planned, hallelujah, accordingly.
All right, guys. So let's settle down some. We need you to sing this song with us. Listen up. Listen up. God of creation, there at the start, before the beginning of time. With no point of reference, spoke to the dark and fleshed out the wonder of life. And as you speak, 100 billion galaxies are born. In the vapor of your breath, the planets form. If the stars were made to worship, so I can see your heart in everything you
Can we thank Paul anymore? The word says that the angels shouted for joy. There is a beauty in heaven, and there is a beauty on this earth. But the beauty on this earth is only that which honors the heavens. And we thank Father for allowing us to be able Father, we give thanks. Let's thank the Father for all things. Who knew what you was coming to hear today? And yet, there is more. But again, we say Todah. Young Dayton, Sister Flo asked for something after this holiday. We bless his name. Change me, oh yeah. Make me more like you. Change me, oh yeah. Wash me through and through. Create in me a clean heart, so that I can follow thee. See me do it again. Change me, oh yeah. Change everybody in this room. Make us more like you. Change us, oh yeah. Wash us through and through. See, we can't do this on our own. Create in us a pure heart, so that Karen, so that Flo, so that I live my life and follow thee. Hallelujah, Father. We need you to change us, Father. Sister Flo asked if we could imagine one more time as we close out today. So, Sister Karen, on your behalf, Sister Flo wants you to imagine as we close out today. All right? So, I think we can do that. Today's message is entitled Serving Tables. That break it down enough? Serving Tables. Just as I read that title, I'm like, it's probably young Stephen's words. Just something so simplistic, serving tables. But go to Acts chapter 6, if you will. Acts chapter 6 and 1. A familiar passage, very, very familiar, that today we just want to look at it a little bit more closely. Because we're changing for you. Acts 6, 1 through 7. In those days, when a number of disciples were multiplied, there arose murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews. Every part of the passage means something. To not generalize it as just one thought, but there's a lot going on in the passage. The Grecians, they're murmuring against the Hebrews because the Grecian widows felt neglected in the daily works, the daily ministration. So when you see widows, what normally accompanies that? The orphans. Hallelujah. That's right. Blessed be his holy name. When we see widows, normally the orphans do follow. Elder Steve's sister Deanna called me, so bless his name. So then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them. And they said, it is not reason, so these are the apostles, that we should leave the word of Yah to serve tables. So serving tables clearly is about what was lacking and was going on amongst the Grecian widows as it relates to the Hebrews and how the daily ministration was being unfolded, because that was the issue. And the apostle says, we don't have time for this. Not that they're against it, but the more time you spend over here means what? The less time you're going to spend on something else. So therefore, the 12 says that, wherefore, brethren, look out amongst yourselves and give me 7 good men of honest report, filled with the Holy Spirit and wisdom. Because, if we're not going to do it ourselves, we need to be comfortable with whom will be selected to do it. If I can't go over there, I'd like to know that they kind of honor Yah's law like me, care about the fruit like me, that they'll, be reasonable like me, just as Moses. You all judge the smaller matters, bring the weightier matters to me. So if nothing else, but still do it from the same honor, the same code, the same way. So that we may, these 7, be appointed over this business. What's the business? Serving tables. Serving tables is the daily ministration being honorably and equitably addressed amongst the people. The apostle says, so that we will give ourselves continually to prayer and to the ministry of the word. Because see, you could go and serve the tables all honorably and equitably all you want. But if there isn't prayer and Yah in it, then all of that practical, because that was a practical matter, the spiritual matter must still go on so that the practical can have a positive effect. Otherwise, it'll just be earthly moments just happening, and Father needs to be in it. So what did they do? The saying pleased the multitude. It was like, okay, we just wanted somebody to, the Grecian widows wanted somebody to care for them and to make things, across the board seem like they were working when somebody was standing for them. They chose Stephen, Philip, Nicanor, Timon, and Parmenius, and Nicholas, blessed be his name, to go forward to address this matter. So what saying pleased the people? Because they say the people were pleased. The ministration, the Grecian word there in Strong's, service of those who prepare and present food. The Grecian widows felt ain't enough food being shared our way, and we are part of this. The Hebrew women, they seem like they're getting more. Yes. See, if you don't take care of everybody on every level, you'll lose all the levels that you believe you're working on. So the least common denominator, we cannot forsake or let anything be too small, yet at the same time, some things just won't be able to still rise to the occasion. But everything has to be what? Considered. And if there is this going on, let it be addressed. Whom they set before, those 7, before the apostles, and the apostles laid their hands on them and prayed, and the word of Yah was increased, and the number of disciples multiplied. Because then some other Grecian widows and others alike said, hey, they take care of their people over there. So now, I was a little hesitant before because, I like some of what they say, but you'd be scared to starve to go hang out with them people. They ain't even, again, follow after me, but, y'all are hungry people. But now, all right, if you can take care of my palate, then I can focus. And, you ain't got to give me everything, but you got to take care of me adequately.
Yes.
The word says, the number of the disciples multiplied in Jerusalem, and a great number of the priests even left the temple and became obedient to the faith. And verse 8 says, and Stephen, filled with faith and power, did great wonders and miracles amongst the people. Now, just thinking of that passage, have you ever thought about the possible realm of miracles that Stephen did?
Yes.
Did Stephen need to part the Red Sea right there in order to satisfy the people? In that instance, was that a necessary miracle in order to show that he could handle making sure everybody ate well? Is it possible that Stephen might have took a few loaves of bread and a couple of fish and was able to suddenly feed 5,000? Because that might have been a miracle apropos to the moment of making sure everybody was taken care of for their belly. See, we don't never need to just stretch things into the broad aspect. If we stay on target, this was all about there was food that needed to be more equitably shared amongst the group at large. They felt that the Hebrews, being amongst with the Hebrew disciples, apostles, that they were getting better treatment than those that were being engrafted in at that time. So miracles, I'm sure, stayed on target to make sure that everybody knew, if you come and walk our way, you'll be taken care of for your primary need. The normal conversation discussed or commented from this passage in recognition that deacons were needed during the days of the first assembly is mostly focused on the selection process in those men. Not totally about exactly what they were needed for. Right? There was a need. The ministry wasn't hurt. And if it was, when they needed one more, they got one more. The ministry was back intact. This was a practical matter of day to day. They said the daily ministration, not the Sabbath ministration, not the appointed time ministration. This is daily the 3 hops a day. Daily what's going on. But in lieu of our tribute to seniors recently, as well as a question that was asked, what does it mean to be a deacon? What is the calling to be a deacon? As well as, Manny, if you a deacon, young Stephen, Stephen Jr., if you were a deacon, does that automatically make Paige a deaconess? Is that how it go? Come one, come out? Bless his name. Just reading that same passage from Hallelujah. Reading that same passage from this text. All right, and that passage is Acts 6, so that's chapter 1 on. All right, yes, his name 6 right there at the beginning. All right, here we go. Around this time, when the number of the disciples was growing, the Greek-speaking Jews began complaining against those who spoke Hebrew that their widows were being overlooked in the daily distribution of the food. So the 12 called a general meeting of the disciples and said, it isn't appropriate that we should neglect the word of Yah in order to serve tables. Brothers, choose 7 men from among you, known to be of the spirit and of wisdom. We will appoint them in charge of this important matter so we can remain giving our full attention to praying and serving the word. This was appreciable of the gathering, thus and so. I love it just when sometimes another text will tell you exactly what it is that's going on. And we got to always remember. King James it's the text that goes and goes. But I promise you, you can get a more clearer version. If as you're reading and studying, it's not just, if you don't feel fulfilled, try a few more texts before you throw in the towel. Try a few more texts. Because something out there is ready to give you what you're looking for. So that you can just make it happen and Father can grant you the increase. Now let's look sequentially at what was happening. This is Acts chapter 6. Let's go back to Acts chapter 2. Because we're now going into dealing with many coming in. But Acts chapter 2 says, in serving tables 2 and 40, and with many other words did he testify, Kepha said, save yourselves from this untoward generation. Then they gladly received his word, were baptized, and that same day there were added unto them about 3,000 souls. So Yeshua's ministry started with him. Then he added 12, 13 total. Then amongst their families being involved with his mother and Mary and Martha and the other Mary and everything else, the word will tell you that they were at 120 at that day of Shavuot. But when Shavuot was over, the number had turned to 3,120. Can you see what could happen? Instantly, careful what you pray for. In a day, you can go from 120 to 3,120. Are you ready? You said that you were in the mat and were out there just focusing on your task. That was a task of 30, 35. Can we handle 350 next year? Hallelujah. But just know, what Father has on his mind at the appointed time, he says he adds to his assembly as he deems that they are ready to be saved. So if there's somebody else out there that may be ready to be saved, that Father's preparing for that day of readiness, what do we need to be preparing for? To be ready to serve. So serving according to the moment should not be a plateau. It should always be, Father, whatever you say, just make sure your spirit is in us. See, without his spirit, they couldn't handle 3,000 being added and do it satisfactorily. And what happened? It was clear. The murmuring started. Look, y'all said come. The Spirit said come. But you're not going to feed us, so, what is this? So, don't tell us to come. Supply and demand. Build it, and they will come. Just make sure you're ready to receive. So, Father, continue to help us to make sure we're ready. Acts 2 and 42. And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine. They continued in fellowship, in breaking of bread. They continued eating, and in prayer. Fear came upon all their souls, many wonders and signs done by the apostles. And then verse 44, all that believed, the communal word, Brother Shane, they worked together. Now that actually is italicized, so all had all things in common. More clarity. All that believed were together. It goes together. Verse 45, and the 3,120 sold their possessions and their goods, parted them to all men as every man had need. So the 3,120, that's your basis at that time for this new way of fellowship. That meant the storehouse, everybody brought it to it. And then you got 10 in your family, we're going to give you what's needed for 10. You got 5 in your family, we're going to give you what's needed for 5. You just solo, we're going to give you what's needed for solo. You don't get a 3-bedroom house if you're just one person. That wouldn't be being a good steward from the storehouse administration. So therefore, that's how Father said equitably is not about everybody having the same thing. It's everybody having their needs met. And that is Father's vision, because that's how we then take care of things. But understand here, verse 46, and they broke bread from house to house, ate their meat with gladness and singleness of heart. They ate their meat with gladness and singleness of heart. Because 3,120 basically made a little pact, worked things out accordingly to that number. But what about the people who come later? The deck has already been shuffled according to this. So if nothing else, some site manager, some HR gonna have to be ready for how do we continue to reshuffle a deck when the deck, I done already gave Shane enough for 5. If now we getting things getting that tight, Shane, I'm gonna need to bring back Sam. He gotta, he really have to be giving a little too much stuff. Again, or somebody might have to just pull out a mirror. There will have to be a planning and the spirit involved for growth to continue and Father's will to continue to be done. So now, imagine if you were poor in that work. What became of you? Remember the woman with the 2 lights? Yes. That was it. So what she had to bring to the storehouse to then get equal value to come out to be taken care of as everybody else. If she was in that first number, what did she have to give in order to receive? Did somebody say that? The man who went out at the first hour, and the man who went out at the 6th hour, and the man who went out at the 11th hour. What they all left away with, the same reward. So if your heart is right, if Yah is for you, then it's not about what you bring in. It's about receiving. It's better to give than to receive. So therefore, Father will take care of anything that's lacking. He will take care of the increase. We got to make sure that we're ready to love one another. So they praised Yah, and Yah added to the assembly as we're ready to be saved. So a great question today is it scriptural for women to fall under the role of a deacon in the assembly? Now, King James would say a deacon in the church. That is one of the biggest misnomers right there. Because when you say church, you think of the worship structure itself, the actual appointed day worship hour. We go to church. When somebody say you go to church, that ain't Thursday afternoon. That's, in the world, that's Sunday, whatever time. That's the church organized service structure. But since the real word is that the assembly is about the people. And the people are alive 24/7, 365. So therefore, what Father did was he selected deacons to take care of the assembly members as they needed in the daily, not just worship time, ministration. So all that we have today is a compiling of it all into a few hours. That, by and large, that we see in action. So let's look at the qualifications for a deacon found in Paul's first epistle, Shaul's first epistle, in 1 Timothy 3. Familiar passage, and that's what today is. It's familiarity, but we want to make sure that we're actually then walking in the familiarity. 1 Timothy 3 says, this is a true saying, if a man desire the office of a bishop, he desires a good work. Bishop would be on parallel with the shepherd. Pastor, shepherd. Then that bishop must be blameless, husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach. Not given to wine, no striker, not greedy or filthy lucre. The bishop must be patient, not a brawler, not covetous. I know I couldn't do this, definitely a lot of you. There's some words in there that just don't work. Bless his name. Must be one that ruleth well in his own house. And ruleth does not mean the totalitarian, the dictator, one who basically has respect in their house because they give. That would be the well-ruling body. Also having the children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how should he take care of the house of Yah? They can't be a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into condemnation of the devil. Moreover, they must be of good report of them inside the house and outside the house. You can't just be good in the house of Yah and have the worst thoughts of you at the job. Oh, I hate it when Lana come around. That can't be. You won't please everybody, because everybody's not seeking to be pleased. And lots of times we stir people up just not to be pleased. But you have to know for yourself that you do well. That your heart is well and your intentions are honorable. You have to know. I always say Elder Lamar, and I think he pay off the people that come in, the friends he has that come in. Because they give him the most glowing accolades. Or else simply, he's one of these people that they speak about. It's just that simple. Now he says, moreover, be of good report, then within and out, lest you fall into reproach and the snare of the devil. Likewise, verse 8, here we are, must the deacons be grave, not double-tongued, given to much wine, filthy lucre, holding the mystery of the faith and a pure conscience. Let them, these, and that would be both, also first be proved, then let them go into their office, being found blameless. Even so, verse 11, must their wives be grave. Hallelujah. Not slanderous, sober, faithful in all things. Let the deacons be the husbands of one wife, ruling their children in their own houses well, that they have used the office of a deacon well to purchase themselves a good degree, boldness in Yeshua. It's a good thing. But what's the job again? What's the deacon's job? More than that, verse 11. Verse 11 is not original text at the beginning. Even so must their wives be grave is not original text at the beginning. For the correct text is, it would read, the women likewise must be serious, not slanderous, sober, faithful in all things. So it didn't address the deacon's wife there. It's addressing the role there. And it's addressing the role, we already came from Acts 6, first to 7 men. But we also see now, even the women of this same context must not be slanderous, sober, and faithful in all things. Let the deacons be the husbands of one wife, ruling their own children well, thus and so. But it's not a sentence of even so must their wives. That's not scriptural. So you have to think about where's Father going with that, because Acts 6 didn't pick, that was 7 men. So therefore, proper translations would say the women likewise, temperate and faithful in all things. But something else. What happened to the pastor's wife? I mean, would the deacon's wife, if it was the other text, need to be X, and then we just add to the word and say that the pastor's wife, well, that assumably she goes in that route as well. Or maybe because it didn't speak about wives at all, that's why it didn't speak about the bishop's wife. Because it wasn't speaking about the deacon's wife. It's speaking about a role and the qualifications of the role. A bishop, as we've learned through the word, Father is called a man to oversee his flock. But as a deacon, Father has called for a qualification and first selected 7 men, but also in the continuation and volume of his word, he seems to not have called only men for that role. Any fair reading from the volume of the book would say selection of women as deacons is scriptural from the original context. So the common denominator would be they looked out for people of good character, of good report, having a desire to do it in the first place. They didn't select and say this is the role, and so you know who's interested. Because careful what you're about to do. There's a role that says Don't just accept something and get hands laid on it. For that, if that's not what the calling is for. So what does Yeshua normally do? He says, I am, and I give you the example, correct? Romans 16:1. Romans 16:1, we bless his name. Romans 16:1 says, from the Apostle Paul, Shaul, I commend unto you Phoebe. Shaul is commending unto you, the saints, Phoebe, our sister. And she is a servant of the assembly, which is at Cenchrea. What is the role of a deacon? To serve. She is a servant of this particular assembly. Verse 2 says, receive her in Yah, as becoming saints, that you assist her in whatsoever business she had need of you. For she had been, how many of y'all ever looked up what that next phrase is? A succourer of many, and myself also. I ain't looked it up till recently. There's a lot of stuff to look up. I ain't looked up that one until recently. I don't pretend. Strong says, a woman set over others, a female guardian, a patroness, one that cared for the affairs of others and aiding them with resources. Paul says, receive this. Sounds like a deacon, huh? This woman, and assist her in taking care of the daily ministration of the assembly at him. So we thank Paul for putting it right there, but also making sure that we know that we have to do it right. Understand, knowledge, get understanding, and then use the wisdom, because we need to traverse where we need to go amongst the people. Now, in that same message, Paul named many others in Romans 1. Priscilla, Aquila, Epaphras, Amplias, Urbane, Apelles, Aristobulus, Herodian, Narcissus, Tryphena, Tryphosa, Persis, Rufus, Assacritus, Phlegon, Hermas, Patrobas, Hermes, Philogus, Julia, Nereus, Olympus. And what did he say at the end of all of that? Because that was the reason for saying all of those names. Verse 16. Salute one another with a holy kiss. The assemblies of Yeshua salute you. I think that finally answered my question on how things actually was working with. Because Paul sent Phoebe to the saints and said, salute Phoebe with a holy kiss. He ain't sent Phoebe to the women saints. He sent her to the saints of Cenchrea and said, salute her, along with everybody else, and she isn't the only woman here. But you see how he'll give you something? Hallelujah. So Paul commends Phoebe for being a faithful servant. Deacon, deaconess, that's our modern terminology, that's our English of it all. It's a role, a servant. And the Greek word is diakonon. And he used this in connection to what he was doing. So what Shaul did, he recognized this assembly position held by Phoebe. But always remember, it's an assembly position, not the physical worship service structure position. He needed people to be selected to help with the daily ministration, primarily starting with the food. And as you can see, a succourer of resources. So that's going to expand into the other needs of the people. But again, think about it though. It's common to believe, and rightfully so, that the deacons were thought to carry out the church's ministry. That's how it is in the worldly thought. But the ministry was to take care of the widows and the orphans. And why is that? Because if you weren't a widow, who was supposed to take care of you? Your husband. And if you weren't orphaned, who was supposed to take care of you? Your parents. Father never said that it's the job to take care of everybody. There's a pecking order to when you actually become the house's responsibility. So the recipients of the daily ministry, Father said, widows indeed. The husband is there, he normally provides. What is a widow? What is a widow in need? One that is 60 or over without a spouse. Under 60, you may be a widow. The word says you're not in need. Which means what? You got to get on out there because you still got some working days in your body. If you're not 60 and widowed, then that means there may still be some fields to glean. There still may be some clothes to wash. Whatever the necessary needs are to take care of oneself. At 60, and there be no family then to take care of, then that's where the house says, deacons, who's in need and qualifies. And that's knowing the people at that level or all the way around. But you still also can't just be without your spouse, and let's just say 71, 72, 80, this, that, and the other. Because the word says you also need to be what? A woman known for her good deeds and devotion to Yah. You want to qualify? So you can be hungry, but if you're hungry with a bad mouth, you might stay hungry. But if you're hungry with the fruit of the Spirit coming out of your mouth, Yah says, I got my eye on you. We are not entitled. Yah has never said, I came to take care of everybody. Yeshua says, my Father has told me who is worthy. And in my hand, these people are covered. But if you're something else, there's a time for everything. But don't feel like just because so-and-so is getting, that you're equal. So-and-so is a child of the Most High by their walk and their obedience. And therefore, a covenant relationship will provide. But if you have no covenant with Yah, Yah has not agreed to provide for you. So that's what submitting ourselves to His word. It takes care of us in season, out of season, before time, after time. Because then we are obligated to look out for those in need. It was these deserving women primarily that the assembly's deacons conducted a daily ministry of care for. So let's reason together with this. If widows are the target audience, then it would make sense. And the female is the target widow. Because the word says, it gives you the numbers, it gives you the categorizations. Then there will be certain needs beyond food that a female that's 65 would need, that Stephen might not be the best man to handle taking care of that, taking care of the business. Appointed over the business. It might just be Phoebe that would be the better one to take care of some out there in the group. Yah's word always makes sense. We just have to let His word be the guide and the foundation, and then the rest will fall into place. So Yah chose the leadership to start, but the business is the business, and there needs to be right people who desire to engage the business, be a part of the business, who will recognize accordingly what the business is about, and then go out and equitably take care of the business. So certain needs clearly would need to be taken care of by Phoebe and other female deacons. Therefore, women deacons or deaconess or servants were an absolute necessity to the early assembly as they were growing, becoming, moving, evangelizing, growing even more in that day and time. And I say as well, just as then 2,000 years ago, it's just as important today as well. Because where is justice supposed to start? At the household of faith. So if there are poor amongst them 2,000 years ago, there would be those who would have needs today, 2,000 years later. Where? Inside the assembly. See that? There's a time for everything. There's a time to take care of the needy who know nothing. Yeshua went and just healed the sick. They ain't know nothing. They weren't asking him. They weren't trying to walk with him. He just went to the sick and just healed them. He went to hungry and just fed them. He grew by letting miracles just draw people to, who is that man? What is he and what is he about? But as the assembly is a body that has been called to worship together, to pray together, and to serve together, as Father adds, we need to make sure that everybody is taken care of. Inside out. As a collective, that hasn't been the daily administration of the deacon role, because again, it's a role within the worship service. You might hear a little bit from somebody, oh yeah, it was a long night, hear a testimony, something's a struggle. But daily, is there someone right now that you can call on if there's an issue? Do we have it in place for the people in the body to know if this is that, can I call so-and-so because I already know who to turn to? The ministry appointed a body so the people would know if you have needs, this is where you go. And not have needs on how the assembly gonna work out as far as if the baby's crying during service or, if whatever this and that. Those roles go back to the temple. It's just that was the Levitical priesthood period. They took care of all the roles. They were the security and the bodyguards in service. They were in place. They stood their posts. That's how service had every aspect taken care of. They had those who slew the sacrifices. They had those who prepared the meats. They had it all together. And again, in the temple setup, that was all the males of Levi. But as things progressed to house, breaking of bread, now you got the family together, because where the apostles went, you had Mary, Martha, and Mary, Miriam, and all of them, all together. And so therefore, now you got, team one taking care of business, and team two, and all that, because now we are sharing in the needs. But when it comes to the actual needs of what is lacking, Father never overlooked any category to make sure that things would still go well. Changing FI 2020, we want to make sure that we are addressing things orderly. We do a feed out once a quarter. That's a beautiful thing. And I say praise y'all for that, because there's a time for everything. But would it be something if somebody in the house just didn't feel comfortable, had a need, but didn't feel comfortable to share the need, and somebody in our house that we hugging and laughing with, whatever, but they sitting in darkness. And through pride, shame, I know I ain't always took care of my bills, right? Wasted all kind of money and stuff. So my own fault. Bless his name. Yes, ma'am. Hallelujah. I gave it to him, baby. Hallelujah. But again, today is today, and we're going in a new direction. The whole point is we want to make sure that everybody knows that there's an avenue, a pathway. Who you going to call? Hallelujah. Who should you call? Should you call somebody who really ain't interested in that call? That would mean that they don't have desire for that office. But if somebody has that desire, they'll be sensitive to the matter. They'll have the right conversation and response. They'll start it with prayer, because they know that this is a spiritual matter, although a practical thing. We just want, do you know how Father will bless us? If he knows how we're blessing one another accordingly to his word and not our own thinking. Let's figure out what we could do. Let's create a new project. The mission responsibility is basically, in a general sense, the deacon role in and of itself, as it's culminated over the years. But primarily, it's moved more as an outward thing than the internal thing. And Father says justice gotta be inside the house. If everybody's good, now let's go and save the world. But if everybody ain't good, then we put the cart before the horse. Am I saying that we bad? No, but we need to make sure that we good. We need to check the box. And that means we need to do what we need to do. So again, ushers and the guards and all of that, the general helpers, that has been by and large, the role has been exercised of our deacons. Doers, but doers within the worship structure setting. We want to go beyond. Changing for Yah 2020. So we'll close with a note there, but just one more thing, and this won't be long, okay? Bishop Parker, when he came and spoke here the last time, he said something that just took me I'm like, it just was too simple to just make it understand. Matthew 13 and 10. Matthew 13 and 10. Again, he said, I love it when somebody give a good word. I mean, because I'm like, Father, talk to me. Because I seek a good word for myself. But I love it when Father just give me a word that I can clearly see is his. That's a sheep knowing Father's voice. I'm like, oh, I know that was right. I know that was his. Matthew 13, familiar passage. Disciples came, why you speak to us in parables? Verse 11. It's given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdom. To the rest of the world, I'm not talking to them. Not now. So just know this. If you understand Yah's word, if you can receive from it, you are special. You are precious. You are worthy. Because it's not given to the world to understand that the first day of the week can't be the seventh. It's not given to them. They can toss it up, conjure it around, they can mix potions, they can nail stuff to crosses and stakes and everything they create. But it's given to you to just let his word be simplistic. The Sabbath day is the Sabbath. But to them, verse 11 ends, it's not given right now. Whosoever had, him shall be given, he shall have even more abundance. But whosoever had not, the little bit of understanding they have will be taken away. That's why I speak to them in parables, Yeshua said. Because they see it not, hearing they not, neither do they understand. In them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which said, hearing ye shall hear and not understand, seeing ye shall see and not perceive. Verse 15, this people's heart is waxed gross. Their ears are dull of hearing. Their eyes they have closed. Have you looked at what waxed gross really means? The in-depth of it? These people's hearts have been made thick to make fat. They have been fattened. Going on, even clearer as a metaphor that's used in Strong's. These people's hearts have been made stupid to render dull or callous. They have been stupefied. These people's hearts have been totally closed up, fattened by worldly foolishness, so they cannot receive pure, unadulterated truth. Why? Because it's not their time. Just that time. Because that was me and you once. You and I were born with that heart, so. And until such a time, we weren't able to understand why Christmas wasn't wrong. It just seemed too good. How can it be wrong? It's too good. Too much of a good thing. Positive. It meant well. Easter, come on, enjoy, have fun. The kids enjoy it. Stupefied with the vain traditions of mankind. And that's where they remain. Lest at any time Yeshua says, as 15 go on, they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears and should understand with their heart and should be converted. And I, because Father says it's time, should heal them. I remove that fact. I remove all those layers so that they actually can be converted to hear what the word has to say to the assembly. To be converted is to turn to Yah through obedience, love, and esteem. But to you, saints, verse 16, of the Lord blessed are your eyes. Isn't that wonderful? Sometimes you may think, I can't see as well as you. They still blessed though. Because what they do see is truth. Blessed are your eyes, TJ, because you see real truth. Blessed are your eyes, Sister Diane. Both Dianes. Blessed are your eyes over there, Miss Karen. Hallelujah. Blessed are our eyes. I mean, have you ever, you wake up, you might want to say, Father, thank you for my eyes. I mean, again, blessed are your eyes. You ain't got to wake up with them. You ain't got to wake up. You ain't got to wake up with them able to see the natural things. But here he's talking about you able to see the spiritual. Blessed. You are special. We are able to wake up and go out to the refuge and see the beauty. That's how we're done. I got to give you this moment. Charlene and I returned back to go and pick up a few more things after the service. When we got back to the retreat center, and then we just looking across at the refuge, but it was a beautiful, quiet, peaceful, quaint. Sam, I love you. Melody, I love you. And Shane, and Jen, and Lee, and everything. But I tell you, I'm like, I know we got to get on this road, but I just want to go and lay down right there right now because it looked like an oasis over there. And I said, Father, there was once a storm. But oh, it blessed are the eyes that could see that nature and know God is real. Let's give Father a hand clap. I tell you, hallelujah! It was so, that was perfect peace. Just yards away. Perfect peace. You couldn't draw it better. You couldn't, if I have to imagine until I see that, that was it. That's what I imagined. And I saw it. It was the still of the waters with no water. It was the still of sound, bless his name. He says, blessed are your eyes, for your eyes see, and your ears do hear. Verily I say, now understand this why I say when you get up for that prayer. When you get up, consider it in prayer. For verily I say unto you, many prophets of old and righteous men have desired to see those things which he has allowed this body to see. They prayed to see this. It wasn't their time. Somebody was in Egypt saying, Father, if you could just, could the deliverer come in my day? So I could see a more excellent way without the whip. But they wasn't able to see that prophet Moses come to deliver them. They saw that prince of Egypt, but they never saw the prophet. Many have wished to see, but have not seen, to hear and have not heard. So that's, Bishop didn't say that. Bishop went to 1 Samuel 10. Because that was the part that he gave. But I said, Father, thank you for making it clear. 1 Samuel 10 and 1. 1 Samuel 10 and 1. Then Samuel took a vial of oil, and he poured it upon Saul's head. And he kissed him and said, is it not because Yah has anointed you? Saul was being anointed to rule a nation. But you know what? When we come out of that liquid grave, which is supposed to be at the beginning of this journey, and we get anointed, you could say that we're having a King Saul moment for the beginning of something that's supposed to be good. And the Spirit of Yah will come upon thee from that anointing. That's what he told Saul. The Spirit's supposed to come after that laying on of hands unto those who have chosen to go down and come up new. And what does verse 9 say? And it was so, when he had turned his back to go from Samuel, what did Yah give to Saul? A new heart. He removed that stupefied heart. He removed that fattened heart. Saul hadn't accomplished nothing for Yah yet. He hadn't shown him the obedience of a righteous servant that was willing to go down and to be tested. You mean that if you're willing to simply choose Yah and try his Spirit, he simply makes it clear you won't be able to get it unless I give you a new heart. Because that worldly heart, you won't be able to learn from me. You won't be able to hear what the word has to say to the one coming into the assembly. That heart is totally rotten, totally messed up. So in the beginning, Yah gives you the tools and resources necessary so that you can go the last mile of the way. Saul didn't stay the course. The heart that was given, so he gave it. He also can take it away. But Yah will not leave you the chance. Okay, I'm going to go try this out. And you got to figure it out on your own. Yah's not that kind of one. My Father is just. If you're willing to bring it to the table, to come and learn of me, I'm going to give you what you need to make it work. You're going to have to decide if you came to work. If you ain't come to work, you ain't come to be tested, if you ain't come to go through, it ain't for you. But if you came to serve, then he will be the one to serve you. He's the one giving you the new heart. Now, simply ain't giving you no new heart. We ain't that good. That ain't in the storehouse. Father has to look down and says, give this new add-on a new heart, so that the words that come out weekly and through my appointed times, they can hear what thus saith Almighty Yahweh. So I say to you on this day of new beginnings, I pray that everyone has a new heart.
Yes.
See, I was never made so clear. I'm like, does everybody have the Holy Spirit? You know, that higher thing, that higher power thing. You know, I believe we've all witnessed the Spirit in action. But is everybody, because again, the disciples were baptized in the beginning of Yeshua's ministry. It wasn't until after his death that he breathed on them. So it ain't instantaneous that power of the Spirit comes upon you. But it can be right by choice in the beginning that he grants you a new heart. If you're willing to come to the table. And then with that new heart, he begins to just mold and shape. And I mean to squeeze and to press and to do everything. If it needs to beat faster, he make it beat faster. If he needs to slow it down, he knows you. Ceremoniously, Yah is anointing a fresh start today. We're changing for Yah. We're not going backwards, we're going forward. Matthew 26. Matthew 26. And one it came to pass. Yeshua finished all these sayings, saying to the disciples, you know, after 2 days it's the Feast of Passover. So that's the setting for it from Matthew 26. It's that it's about time. The hour is drawing near. But then verse 6, he's in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper. Matthew 26 and 6. And then 7, we know this story. There came unto him a woman having an alabaster box. We know that story, correct? And she just, as my brother was saying, she just took the oil and just said, gush. I mean, gush. I mean, give it a mouth because it's gush. All right? And those with said, it's been wasted. That's money you just throwing out like that. I mean, that you need that much? Indignation, the word says. They want to know, to what purpose is this waste? Verse 9 says, for this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. Yeshua gave them the story as to the what and the why. But what did he say in verse 11? For ye have the poor always with you. What are you talking about out there? Ye always have the poor right amongst you. We know in our modern times where poor is relative. But at the same time, he's saying you got people with needs forever with you. There will be no house of worship of just rich people. There will be no house of worship of just, those who are all, six-figure bank accounts. There will no front row only house. There's going to be somebody in that, the back row and all that, somebody slipping in and all this and that. You will always have the poor with you, always. Always remember, primarily, Father was always talking to his people about his people alone. I repeat, the word was primarily given to his people, for his people, about his people. Those who have not, want not. Those who know not, the Father says, it's not their time. He says, when I see you feeding the hungry, let's make sure there's no hungry inside this house. When I see you clothing the needy, let's make sure there's no needy inside this house that's in need. When I see you taking care of the stranger, let's make sure that the stranger that comes into, not for the visit. First, we got to talk about the stranger that he's adding to the body. Because that one is a stranger. Because he says one law for the stranger as well as the homeborn. So it's about the body first. And then, collectively, we take care of the world. But taking care of the world is doing good because good is simply our nature. But doing right is to make sure we take care of this house. From top to bottom, and we can't miss because we just don't want to, we don't want to intrude. I mean, again, how I know if you're sitting home in the dark? Let somebody ask some questions. Somebody got to get a little close. So y'all appointed people for just that role and purpose. To make sure that ain't about being busy. Oh, I just want to know your business. No, I'd like to actually help you, which means I need to know your business to help you. But since I need to know your business, he says, give me men and women of good report. Because they ain't the kind that will be about being busybodies. Right. They got to know your business to help you, but they won't be ones that the people believe, well, they're just going to go take my business and go and run it everywhere. Yeah. So it's all supposed to work together for the good. And we got to believe. So who followed Yeshua? The rich and the poor. Yeshua came in what 4 presentations in the gospel? What 4 representations did Yeshua come in the 4 gospels? It said that in Matthew he came as a king. Hallelujah. In Luke he came as a man or another. In Yohanan and John he came as son of Yah, mother's daughter, the son of Yah. And in the point being in Mark, Yeshua came as a servant. Mark 10, that's where we close. Mark 10, that's 35. And James and Johanan, the sons of Zebedee, came into Yehoshua saying, Master, we would that thou shouldest do for us whatsoever you desire. The master said to them, what would you that I should do for you? Okay, you saying you'll do whatever for me, but what should I do in return? No, somebody wants something. You ain't just asking that just for nothing. You got an agenda. What's your agenda? Then I'll answer your question. They said, grant us that we may sit one on the right hand and the other on the left hand of your glory. They wanted it all. I mean, you see how he knew? Let me go ahead and get it out. Put it on the table. You know, just tell us what to do, you know. Come on, tell me what's really on your mind. You want all the glory there is. All the glory. One on my left and one on the right. Forget everybody else. No Moses, no Abraham. I won't be on your right and you be on the left. Yeshua said unto them in verse 38, you know not what you ask now. Can you drink of the cup that I drink from? I mean, can you walk the road? I already know where I'm going. Do you know where I'm really going? And be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. I'm taking all the sins with me down into the grave. I'm taking the death penalty down into the liquid grave. Can you really? I mean, you want to be on my right and left in glory. Can you really walk with me? Verse 39, and they said unto him, we can. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeshua said unto them, you shall indeed drink. And believe me, the apostles, they did drink of that cup. They were all heinously murdered. All tortured. Hanging, stake, stoning, all the like. Guillotine, all the like. Careful what you ask for and who you follow, what you're following. He said, you shall indeed drink of the cup that I drink of, and with the baptism I am baptized. But to sit, verse 40, on my right hand, you asked a question, and to sit on my left hand, it's not for me to give. My father told me what would happen to me if I drink of this cup. I would come back to his right hand of glory. I don't have those kind of gifts to give. I won't even pretend. But I can tell you though, it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared. Whoever's supposed to be on my right, they shall sit at my right. Whoever's supposed to sit at my left, if it should be you, if my Father has selected you, you will arrive. Verse 41, and when the 10 heard this, they began to be much displeased with these two brothers. But Yeshua called to him and said unto them, ye know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise authority upon them. Know this, in the biggest scheme of things, if your heart is not right, you are a Gentile. Your blood could be from the proven line of Father Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. But if the inward Yehuda does not glean from your actions, your word, your obedience, and your love, you are a castaway and a Gentile just looking to find out how to get into salvation. Verse 43, but so shall it not be among you. But whosoever will be great among you shall be your what? It says minister, but your servant. You want to sit on the right hand? You want to sit on the left hand? show me your service. If that's what you want the greatest gift. You want to sit on the throne of glory, right and left. Show me your service. For even, verse 44, whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be the servant of all the body. Verse 45, for even a son of man came not to serve others, to be served, but he came to serve. He came to save our life. That would be service, correct? Yes. He came to lay it all down. That would be service. Yes. You want to actually pick it up and stand in glory? Show Father a choice. Because that's a choice. Everybody don't cook the same. Everybody don't prepare tables the same. Everybody don't fix cars. There's choices in the room. But if you desire the greatest of all rewards, know that you will need to lay down you so you can pick somebody else up. See, Father knew that deacon role was no small thing. It's no slight. It's no lesser. This is a promotion. I mean, I'm giving you opportunity to close in on glory. Should you succeed in the matter. That's your part. But I'm looking out and he says, okay, who's got that right nature? Who's got that comforting spirit? Who's that one when there's a tear, they just move a little closer and draw in? See, sometimes you got to say, hey, can somebody? And then there's those times that somebody just move with the moment because that's what they do. We were created to worship. But some people were created to serve. And to serve is where we need to go in 2020, to serve Yah in spirit and in truth. It's not about everybody doing every single thing. But if we could get a few bodies, hallelujah, we have moved greatly in the right direction. So we want to continue to really, really walk in Yah's light and his spirit. We want to challenge our role of deaconship to be what the word anointed it to be. I ain't that great, I'm just reading it as you're hearing it. Same word, same book. But it seems reasonable that we can actually say that this is about making sure that the house members, not the house, but the house members are well. And those other roles that we just kind of roll into it and whatever, there's a time, there's still a need. We still want to make sure that when a stranger of recent come through the door for a service or come into the service. And there's a time for everything. Come as you are. Somebody come through. What Father said, the rich man and the poor man? Don't let him see you treating the poor one differently. Because if you had thoughts for the right hand of glory and the left hand of glory, you're blowing that all out. But he also says, lay no hands on any man suddenly. So he's letting you know a tree bears fruit, consider the matter. But be just. Which means it ain't got to be my way, but make sure that the way is pure and honorable. So you come in, not appearing all right, not appearing as we normally are, we'll still receive you. You don't know any better. You just coming in. When you come into Bethlehem, it's not expected if you're a Moabitess that you're going to have it all right on day one. But it's expected that if you chose to leave Moab and come to Bethlehem, that Bethlehem's way, your El, shall become my El. Now, if you're coming of this house to be yours, then soon you will have to leave. Because this L won't change, but this L will receive. So we receive you day one. We receive you day two. Now you continue to come. We're going to start talking to you and sizing you up. Because, hey, if you desire to keep coming in, somebody should be ready to let you know what it's like to continuously be in. You know, you look around and you notice certain things while you're here, and we start to shape things up. What the Father do? We're clay, and he starts to mold us. So he has anointed roles to mold. Every person is not meant to be molded. And some, they will let you know, and that's all right. Because why? Father has not said that you just have to accept anything. You just have to be open to work with anything, to build. Because did he not work with us? And did we not give him anything to start with? Yes, hallelujah. So I know I was an anything that he, by his grace, allowed to become something. So therefore, anything you send in, I'll be open to work with. But that also, the covenant is about a two-way street. You're going to have to show me that you're willing to work too. I'll let you come through a couple of times and just, we'll work on the fly. But after that, then somebody has to already know that's my job to go ahead and start to see what Father's trying to do here. Whether just to see how we'll treat the stranger coming in. He just wants to know if we still got the rich man, poor man thing, will we do that right? Or is he possibly adding somebody else to our assembly? Which means they'll need to learn their ABCs, the alphabet, and all the things in between. So therefore, if somebody, what he said, if I was hungry, but you gave me a shirt. Okay, so, but we gotta know what you need though. What is it that you're looking for? Are you looking for a house of prayer to actually worship in? Or are you looking just, are you here basically for a handle? I gotta say it like that, but I need to get there so we can know what we're working with. So we then aren't trying to necessarily spend time. If you're just here to get something, then let us know. There's a time for everything. You ain't gotta come sit down there back there for that. I mean, we do feed out once a quarter. We even can work out something occasionally. It ain't just, we ain't got a sign that says store open on the Sabbath. But again, we can work with, because what are you coming for? And what are you bringing to the table? You come with attitude, that's fine. You came with attitude. But if your attitude with need, Yeshua still healed you. It's a matter of what it is. So we close with this. Let's look at inwardly in ourselves. This position is an anointed position that asks for servitude, servanthood. And so therefore, if that be you, if that's more of you, then Father just wants us to put that on the table as we go into this next direction. Again, why were the deacons' wives and the pastors' wives not specifically correctly addressed? That wasn't a role for just, because your heart is right. Because you're the tender, sensitive person and you're the this and that. Understand? Again, just because you like so-and-so, that don't mean that they automatically, because you're sensitive, your spouse is sensitive? No. So Father didn't say, just because you pray continuously, will your spouse pray continuously? So therefore, Father he ain't never buying nothing like that, because he wants stuff to work. We got to save ourselves in that which he calls us to do. So where you are, let Yah, hallelujah, grow you. Go ahead and, gentlemen, give us that opening for the magic. Father's been good to us. He's blessed us beyond measure. I mean, I enjoyed myself this tabernacle. See, y'all know we ain't did 8 days nowhere in a long, let me fall my hand. And I mean, some of us have done it before, just haven't done it in a long time. And some, right out the box, just did it, and we ran hallelujah well. To run well don't mean that there won't be some drama, some obstacles. Father is always trying to mature this body. He's always, so there always has to be some darkness for the light to shine bright. He gave us the rain, but when that sun came, it's almost like you could see the tracks almost faded away in some of those areas. Because that shows you what he can do in just 1 week. Now give him a month of your life where you're dedicated to him. Give him a year of a life of your life where you're dedicated to him. Oh, how he can change things and make it phenomenal. But I'm blessed to say that we're going to give y'all holiness from the inner court a year from now. Not me, not you, but we're going to give him holiness and we're going to respect it because Yah wants us to worship him in spirit and in truth. So if we're going to dance beautifully today, we're going to live holy tomorrow. And if we're going to sing like a songbird today, pray from y'all. He's going to live holy. Peace out. We're going to do what we need to do. Why? Because y'all say don't be on that lukewarm fence now. He say, you may think I'm happy, but I'm not really happy for you when I see that you serve 2 masters. We're all servants. We do recognize that. Today's message is about let's choosing the right servant to give him our all the time. Because Yah has actually called some of us to truly be servants. And it's a wonderful, wonderful reward that's waiting for us. Let's give Father a hand clap. Let this be our closing word pertaining to God 2020.
What it'll be like when I walk by your side. I can only imagine what my eyes will see when your face is before me. I can only imagine. To be surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for Yeshua, or in all of you be still? Or will I stand in your presence, or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. Yeah, I can only imagine. I can only imagine when that day comes, when I find myself standing in the sun. I can only imagine when
if we all just take a big step forward. I can only imagine the power that Father would give us. Hallelujah. He's already heard the prayers. It is well. It is well. Father says if you believe, which means you have submitted your life to Him. Obedient and loving. Fret not, worry not, because it's well within our souls. Please stand, we close. Hallelujah. It's been a wonderful, wonderful fall festival season. Hallelujah. Doesn't it feel good? No. Don't need parties. Don't need worldly celebrations. We need to be in His Spirit on His day. And I promise you, you'll have all the feelings you've yearned for and could want. Father of lights. Hallelujah. One more day, Father. Help us to work out this soul salvation, Father, one more day. Keep Sister Pam, oh Heavenly Father, and her family during this time of bereavement, Father. Keep all of our arms wrapped around her. Hallelujah, Father. Keep our dear sister Flo, Father. It's one thing to be with your mate on a new beginning, and another to be with it. But Father, she still has love in the room. She has so much love in the room, Father, that she is well. But we're going to serve her, Father. Hallelujah. We will serve her according to her needs. Yeshua came to minister for the needs of the people. All those who have been called to serve. Hallelujah. Blessings unto you. Sister Karen, hallelujah. We walk with you. We stand by you. We support you. We lift you up. Because when we lift Him up, He will draw. He is your doctor. He is your keeper. He's your provider. He's your way maker. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. He's good today. Because we are trying to be good to Him each day. And if we do our part, He's promised to deliver. But we gotta stay the course. We can't just. Oh, Father. Bless your name. Father, thank you for everyone in the sound of my voice for keeping us. Bless those who are watching and could not be here for whatever reason, Father. But draw us closer together, Father. Thank you for the word today, Father. May it go out, not come back void, but do what you anointed it to do on ears that you have chosen to hear. Eyes you have chosen to see. Unto hearts that you have made anew. It is such a blessing to know you gave me a new heart and I didn't even know it. I know I wasn't worthy of it, but you did it anyway because you loved me just that much. What can I do to repay you, Father? I can never return it equal. But I can try. So, Father, I give myself as a vow unto you to walk in your light all the days of my life. I present myself a living sacrifice, holy unto God. You said I was only reasonable, so I just gave you the words. But Father, let each soul in this house present their bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable. Acceptable means we've got to decrease some places. We got to live inside of a box. We can't do anything, just anything. We've got to be tempered in every way, and we got to make sure that our life is a blessing unto Father. But Father, you said that in the appointed time, eyes haven't seen what you're going to do for us. Ears haven't heard the voices that are on harps in the heavens. Oh, Father, one day, what a sound, what a sound, what a sound. Do we ever imagine that he told Moses to create in the tabernacle here that which is in the heavens above? Imagine those instruments playing just as so melodically as we hear right now. Greater works than these. Father, bless the food we shall receive. Allow it to nourish us, not be harmful to our health. Bless all the preparers. Bless, oh Heavenly Father, that was intended to be in the meal, but you said it was okay today. Because it's still well. We love you, dear sister. Father, thank you for taking us out of our natural, of our routine environment and bringing us back so safe, so sound, and much better for the experience. We pray for the peace of Jerusalem, the least of your people, the saints everywhere, and against our day of escape that are not going to Shabbat or dawn or winter. But we pray that you will find every soul in this room worthy to escape in that evil day. In the name of your darling Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, let your countenance shine down upon us. Heal Karen's body. Give comfort to Pamela. Surround Flo with the peace that she needs every day and the strength to press on. Let Sister Zandra know that one day she will bow down, Father. Greater works than those you've done, Father. Stay the course. Father, give us peace. In the name of your darling Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. We can only imagine, Father. But while we wait, I think we'll just serve you in the meantime. In Yeshua's name we pray. Hallelujah! 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 What I say unto one, I say unto all. Watch and pray. In Yeshua's name. Hallelujah!